Welcome to uh, Friday Morning Dharma on April 3rd. Thank you all for being here. Let's begin by settling into a comfortable meditation posture. Through meditation practice, we can come to experience our own mind as a place of refuge, as a sanctuary. Please allow yourself to settle and to rest. Give yourself the gift of the peace of your pure consciousness, vast and unobstructed, inseparable from the limitless sky, from limitless space. Please bring your awareness to the exhalation of your breath. And very gently allow your exhalation to be just a bit longer and a bit more pronounced than your inhalation. Please feel free to experiment with pausing briefly at the bottom of each exhalation. As you start to identify more with the tranquil spaciousness of your own mind, you will become a more peaceful person, more peaceful in actions of body, speech, and mind. As you become a more peaceful person, you contribute to the creation of a peaceful world, thus benefiting everyone who shares your world with you. Now, please gently transition into meditation on the inner body. Please become the silent observer of sensations that may start in your hands and your feet. All that is asked of you is to silently observe these sensations, like a mountain with consciousness. The natural tendency of these sensations is for them to travel up into your arms and your legs, perhaps into the region of your chest, perhaps into your face and your cheeks. Just continue to silently observe. This morning's Lamrim meditation is on death and impermanence. Moment by moment, phenomena are undergoing change. It's not that things change or that things will change. It's that things are in the process of changing, moment by moment by moment. With regard to impermanence, a monk once made the following statement. He said, "In my 20 years of wearing the robes of an ordained monk, I have learned this one fact. All that arises ceases. This I know." So I'd like you now to please take as a mantra these words, all that arises ceases. Please silently recite these words as a mantra while meditating on the inner body. All that arises ceases. There is no more powerful and impactful example of impermanence than our own death. Our death is an absolute certainty. The timing of our death is an absolute uncertainty. We may die before 2026 ends. We may die sometime this weekend. We may die later today. The point of meditating on the uncertainty of the timing of our death is to impel us to concern ourselves with things that truly matter. So, for the last couple of moments of our meditation this morning, please just rest with the notion, I may die today. Today may be the last day of this life. And conjoin this wisdom recognition with meditation on the inner body. Now, please gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of your physical body and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of the weight of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room that you are occupying. Deeper and deeper breaths, becoming aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of limitless space beyond the blue sky. And you can know that you are not these phenomena, nor are you separate from these phenomena. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May the human beings of this world soon come to have respect and reverence for the natural world. May we come to care kindly and gently for the natural world. And may we have reverence and respect for the non-human animals who make their home in the natural world. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you. Thank you. So we have been continuing on with our Thursday morning meditations, and I've been enjoying those very much. They're from 8:30 to 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, both in person and participation via live stream. In yesterday's class, yesterday's meditation, before we meditated, I talked about the purpose and benefit of conjoining meditation on the inner body with the object of meditation for our practice. You know, in this case, in this morning's case, the mantra, all that arises ceases. Conjoining that silent recitation, that resting with the mantra, with meditation on the inner body. I spent, I don't know, a few minutes talking about the purpose of that practice, practicing that way. So that meditation is on the YouTube channel. I recorded it. It's on there. If you have any questions about why we do it that way or need a refresher, please go and check it out. You may find it beneficial. So you may be wondering, on Monday's class, we talked about the Lam Rim we talked about was the dangers of lower rebirth. You may be wondering, why haven't we started meditating on that? Um, the answer is because there's one important part I haven't shared with you yet about what the object of meditation for the contemplation on the dangers of lower rebirth is. And I'll tell you what that piece is in just a minute. But before we do, I wanted to just kind of share with you in an anecdotal kind of way a conversation that I had with a long, long time Sangha friend of mine. Sangha, of course, being a spiritual community. This guy lives in Southern California, and I always update him on our Monday, Friday classes and all things Dharma, really. And I was talking with him about the fact that we are on the Lamrim meditation on the dangers of lower rebirth, and just talking about maybe not so much our class in particular, but just sort of in general classes. Why? Um, not so much why, how we can come to embrace this meditation, the dangers of lower rebirth, and the fact that a lower rebirth is a great danger and a great cause for concern. What can we do? I asked my friend to really, really take this danger seriously, in so many words. And my friend said something that I thought was really, really impactful, really powerful. He said, we, he didn't say they, he said, we need to come to not view rebirth, past and future lives, not view them as a theory, but we need to live them. I think that's for a lot of us, that's kind of our relationship with past and future lives. And by extension, future lives, the dangers of lower rebirth in future lives. It's kind of an interesting theory. Maybe it's interesting to some of us, but we don't really live our lives according to or in accordance with the recognition that future lives are a reality. Uh, and as always, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you should live the truth of future lives because if you don't, you're going to be a bad meditator or anything like that. There's no guilt. I mean, we have to come to this conclusion on our own, and every time we talk about past and future lives, I share with you my different lines of reasoning, you know. The most compelling for me is that everything is a continuum for which we can find no definitive beginning and no definitive end. And if consciousness is a thing, we've met people, I think, who believe that, like when this body ceases, that's the end of everything. It just ends and there's nothing more, right? If that's true, if consciousness ends when this body ceases, that's the only phenomenon in all of existence that has a definitive ending. And I just think that I'm going to go with the odds, right? I'm going to go with the odds on this. What, 1,000 gazillion phenomena in the world compared to this one thing that ceases definitively? I don't know. I just don't buy it. And the point of consciousness not having a definitive end, if it doesn't have a definitive end, then it continues in the form of future experiences or future lives, future incarnations. And if there are future lives and incarnations, then there is necessarily a danger of taking a lower rebirth. And in the Buddhist sutras, there are three different sort of categories of lower rebirth. We talked about animals on Monday. You know, we love animals. We love animals. Where was I? Oh, I was driving on 180 yesterday, and there was a little dog that was like running across 180. This was like about 4:30 in the afternoon, like Silver City rush hour. And, this little dog was kind of confused and, just sort of running wonton. You know, all the cars stopped, you know, all the cars stopped, yielded to the dog running, you know, it was beautiful. And, I just say that to say we love animals. We do. And to say that an animal rebirth is a lower rebirth is not disparaging animals. And I don't think it's up for debate that animals don't have the freedoms that we humans do. Marty and I were talking about dogs before class today. Like, I learned stuff from dogs, from my dog, all the time, every day about equanimity and unbounded joy. I also learn about attachment to things like food and, taking walks. But, you know, my dog Ozzy can't sit down and read a Dharma text. You know, he can't, as near as I can tell, he can't meditate on death and impermanence. You know, he can't recite mantras, do all the things. So, in that way, animals don't have the freedoms that we do. Am I doing? Oh my gosh. So I think it's kind of a cultural thing. This our us Westerners being or having it difficult to view past and future lives as more than just a theory and living it, you know? The good news is, I mean, we can change. Hopefully that will develop for us. But the good news is there are indications that I think we have the potential to move from a theoretical relationship with past and future lives to living it, you know, because I think we kind of live karma that way. A lot of us, I think a lot of us just karma's a thing and we live that. And our actions sort of indicate that we live karma. You know, what goes around comes around, you reap what you sow. We sort of know this. We can look, I think, at past and future lives as being an extension of karma. We do things in this life, you know, things that involve animals. I won't get graphic on this. We do things that involve animals. That creates karma, you know, that creates karma. And that karma is going to have to be cleared. And that will, in some cases, involve our taking rebirth as an animal in order to clear that karma. Maybe we can look at it that way. So another realm of lower rebirth that I haven't talked much about are what are referred to as hungry ghosts. Hungry ghosts. That said that hungry ghosts have stomachs, just really, really, really strong attachment, have stomachs that are as big as an ocean, but a mouth as small as a pinhole, like never satisfied. And, you know, those of us who are billionaires might take a look at that. Billionaires who need to amass more wealth. And as always, our job isn't those billionaires, they really need to get it together. No, it's, what actions am I engaging in that could result in my taking rebirth as a hungry ghost? Anyways, 1 minute left. Amazing how time flies in my experience anyways. So just please think about this, about what it might look like for us to live past and future lives and by extension, dangers of lower rebirth. So last thing I wanted to say, that the missing piece with regard to meditation on the dangers of lower rebirth is the object of meditation is fear of taking a lower rebirth. It's the only object of meditation that involves a somewhat painful, delusional state of mind. I mean, we often make dedications after our meditations for may all beings enjoy complete and perfect fearlessness. Yet we're meditating on fear with regard to the dangers of lower rebirth. Yes, it's the one exception. It's the one exception in the sutras where we take as our object of meditation kind of a deluded, we might say, a delusional state of mind. But in this case, it's wisdom based. It's not a delusion, it's wisdom. Because taking rebirth as a dairy cow in a stockyard between Las Cruces and El Paso is cause for fear. Is cause for fear. And then we contemplate that way about these possible rebirths, lower rebirths. This fear will actually impel us to try to ensure that that we do things that will prevent a lower rebirth. So Monday and Tuesday next week, we will meditate finally on the dangers of lower rebirth. And then Monday's class, we'll get into the fourth lat rem. Okay. Thank you all very much. You, Jen. Have a
Thank you, Jeff.
wonderful day, everybody. Okay. Bye, Alicia. Bye, everybody.
Jeff,
Yeah.
when I looked at it,